Well, Mark might have a little bit better run tonight than he's having, but this is his first race in the car tomorrow.
Here's another car having a great run up there in the top 20. Tony Raines in this 96 car had a great run last week at Texas, finished 13th, right there in the top 20 again tonight.
Yeah, they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They've really made a lot of progress over the last few weeks.
Clint Boyer in the DirecTV 07, and then Joe Nemechek 20th and 21st.
You know, Boyer coming off that win last night, exciting win here in the Busch race. I thought he'd run a lot better tonight. I thought, matter of fact, I thought all the Childress cars would be a little bit better, but they're fading here late.
Nemechek is 21 seconds off the lead, and that number 13.
You know, another surprise has been this 16 car, Greg Biffle. He's still hanging in there on the lead lap, but Mike, we've been watching his pit stops. Wholesale changes every time he comes to pit road by Pat Tryson and that crew.
Just can't get that car quite right for Biffle. The first of the Robert Yates Fords is Ricky Rudd, and he's the veteran from Chesapeake, Virginia, in the 23rd position.
Got the lucky dog there earlier on, didn't he? I think he
did.
Yeah, he was one of the cars. He got a lap down and then it got it back, so he's holding his own now.
Right now, Robert Yates Racing, they're looking for next weekend at Talladega.
Okay. And you're riding with Reed Sorensen, trying to take away Rudd's 23rd position. The Target Dodge of Sorensen is the last car on the lead lap. And there's the leader, top of your screen, big orange, Tony Stewart, who has now been out in front for 88 laps, the most of any driver tonight. 68 laps to go in Phoenix.
Delivers the chance to manage your own free fantasy auto racing league. Go to foxsports.com. 62 laps to go here in Phoenix. Tony Stewart, who has led the most laps, 90 plus, leading Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth fourth, and Jeff Gordon stalking, hoping for his first ever win here in Phoenix and hoping for his 76th career win, which would tie him 6th all time with Dale Earnhardt. He started the race, Gordon, as the pole sitter, but communication problems with his helmet. He ironed that out, led the first 28 laps. Later, battling for the fourth spot with Kevin Harvick, third and fourth, trading paint, going at each other, wearing each other out. His crew chief, Steve Letarte, looking at it. Harvick's crew chief said, hey, we got to save some of this after a caution on a restart. By a splitter second, Harvick edges Gordon and Letarte, trying to double check with the official there to catch the break. But with 7 leaders and 9 lead changes, Jeff Gordon still trying to pull out his first victory of this year, coming in as the points leader. That was our virtual crew chief question. Singular was, we asked you, will Jeff Gordon win his first Phoenix race? And most of you, it's close, say yes. His 17th the Phoenix Nextel Cup race, best finish third 3 times for Jeff Gordon. But Jeff Hammond with just under 60 laps to go. Pit stops, how soon will they come, and what kind of advantage will they play for Jeff Gordon?
Well, right now you can see pretty easily that our public right now is kind of torn whether Jeff's going to be able to pull this thing off or not. But about lap 285, 290, we can expect these teams start making green flag stops. And I really believe that's what's going to make the difference. We've seen early on the night, Denny Hamlin got in trouble speeding in. Has to be very much on top of their game and get down pit road. And these crews can't make any mistakes. We've seen several mistakes made on pit road this week. So that's going to be the other thing that's going to kind of play out. The crews have got to be perfect, Chris. I believe it's going to come down between Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon. But don't rule out Jimmy Johnson. Just, 58 laps to go.
Yeah, we already had a Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson finish earlier this year. Johnson with 3 wins in the 7 previous races, so it should be an exciting finish. Let's rejoin Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Jones.
And we've had a few audio difficulties equipment-wise. We apologize for that as Tony Stewart leads this race with 57 to go. Nearly's not pulling away from Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's not gaining on him, but the battle is joined right here for 3rd place.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count that yellow 17 car out just yet, because this is a kind of race that man's really good at kind of laying back there and letting everybody back up to him.
We're going to make a pit stop and throw a spring rubber at the audio equipment, trying to get that fixed up for you. Stewart, your leader with 57 to go. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Now leads Jeff Gordon by 2.2 seconds, but there's a new 3rd place car. Matt Kenseth just like the team sometimes have to go to a backup ignition, we've gone to a backup audio transmission system, and we're continuing to work on the problem and hope to have it improved for you here shortly.
Not sure what's going on with Kenson. I heard him. I think we had some radio conversation there a little bit ago about the car getting on the splitter. That could be what that was. Got down in the corner, heavy braking, and that was coming from the nose dragging the ground.
But I definitely agree with what Jeff Hammond was talking about. We're getting within about 15 to 20 laps. What could possibly be the last pit stop of the night. It'll come somewhere with 20 to 30 laps to go. You can't have any mistakes, and you've got to make the right adjustment because this probably will be the last shot you get. We've been watching this Penske group here. Kurt Busch, that 2, Ryan Newman, the 12. They've been hooked together almost all night long, right there just inside, outside the top 5.
I have seen
outside the top 5.
I have seen vast improvements in these two cars the last 2 or 3 weeks. Again, Kurt Busch had a really good shot at winning last week. They're running well tonight, 5th and 6th. Great improvement in these two cars.
And thanks for your patience with our audio difficulties. We believe we have that straightened out now.
And Mike, I know it maybe didn't show up at Bristol talking about those two Penske cars, but if there's an organization that tested the car tomorrow more than anyone else out there, it was the Penske group.
Kevin Harvick led a lot of this race, 54 laps in fact, for Richard Childress. He's now dropped into the 7th position, 8 seconds off the lead. This battle is for 8. Denny Hamlin trying to get back to the lead where he last was at lap 100. 167 laps later, Hamlin has just moved into 8th.
And that just tells you when you have when something goes wrong.
Talk to him about your car when you get a chance.
When something goes wrong, you get back in the field like that, how long it takes to overcome it.
And Mike, there's no question, Denny Hamlin's lap times, they're better when he's out in clean air like this, better than anybody on the racetrack. But the problem is 9 seconds up there to Tony Stewart with 7 other cars in between him and Tony Stewart. Denny Hamlin's one car that definitely needs a caution or two to try to get caught back up.
Steve Burns has more.
Yeah, Mike, expect Denny Hamlin to hit pit road on lap 286. Those orders coming from crew chief Mike Ford. Denny saying the car is good, just a little bit tight.
And you know he's got to be just absolutely beside himself to have a car that great, make a mistake on pit road that's going to cost him a shot at winning this race.
But you know, Mike, Darrell, we sat down with Denny Hamlin this morning. Tonight is his 51st career Nextel Cup start. He has only had 1 DNF, but he told us this morning, he said, I pride myself in finishing races because when I ran my late model, I had to fix it and I had to pay for it. If I wrecked, I knew I may not race the next week.
Larry, Darrell,
yeah,
one of my questions right now has got to be, if you're up there like, say, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, you know you've got to make up some ground. Do you stop maybe a little bit early? Try to get the benefit of these fresh tires so you can gain some ground on the leader. We know that new tires are worth a ton right about this point in the race.
I know one cat that's not going to stop early if he can help it, and we're looking at him because that's what happened to him last week. No, I tell you, I'd go to the very end, and then if I'm going to be sure I'm one of the last ones on pit road in case that dreaded debris caution flew on me.
And it's a 50-50 gamble. Yeah, you'd love to have advantage of those tires, but we know we're getting to the point of a run where these cars are starting to slide around, and you may get that caution.
Roger Penske's Dodges trade places. Ryan Newman to 5th, Kurt Busch to 6th. No rivalry there. A lot of great rivalries next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time. Cubs Cards, Yankees Sox. You're looking at Kurt Busch in the number 2, who is an avid, lifelong Cubs fan.
He is that. You and him, right?
Yeah. And lots of others. Tony Stewart continues to lead Jeff Gordon. The margin now is 1 second with 40 laps and a pit stop to go. Don't go away.
Fresh Fit 500 is sponsored by Allstate, official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. By DLP, HD TV powered by DLP. It's amazing, it's the mirrors. By Nextel, only from Sprint, helping NASCAR Nextel Cup fans get more done. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
For the first time tonight, green flag pit stops for the leaders. Dick Berggren.
And Junior has decided to short pit before everybody else. Here's the strategy. Whoa, they just got that left rear tire on. Krista.
Martin Truex coming in. The rules on the radio do not speed. That is what Bono Manning told Martin Truex. They made a slight air pressure adjustment. They're also making a track bar wedge adjustment for this last run.
Tony Stewart left at your screen, the race leader by 1.4 seconds. For the last 2 laps, his crew has been up on the wall, standing on the wall, tires at the ready, but they have not yet brought the leader in.
And there's no reason for Tony Stewart to come in. What they need to do is keep an eye on Jeff Gordon, maybe Matt Kenseth, maybe Jimmy Johnson. There's no reason for him to short pit with those guys right behind him staying out there, because then, just like last week at Texas, Kurt Busch, you run the risk of being burnt by a caution flag.
I tell you who this race is really backing right up into his hands, I believe, is the 17 car. He's going to have a blazing fast pit stop, and he's right there behind these guys. Watch the 17 car.
Matt Kenseth.
Right now, the fastest cars on the track lap after lap are Kenseth and Denny Hamlin in 7th place.
If they make a minor tweak on this 17 car, help him out just a little bit, look out.
There's Kenseth, and on the right, his crew chief, Robbie Reiser.
Doing really good here. 30 laps to go here.
Both from Wisconsin. They used to race against each other. Now they're on the same team.
Here comes Kurt Busch in that 2 car in, as well as we see Clint Boyer, the 07. He's on pit road.
Jamie McMurray, the outside pole sitters, in as well. All of these are 4 tire stops under green and enough fuel to go the distance.
Here's a 24 on pit road.
The pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, will surrender 2nd place to come to pit road.
Now, this is where Tony Stewart, he's going to have to come pretty quick. We're seeing Ryan Newman, the 12, Kevin Harvick, the 29.
Trouble. Got a car around. Big crash.
Blaney,
Yaley,
and the number 1 of Martin Truex. And this caution will burn several teams and pin them a lap down because they pitted under green.
See Jeff Gordon, they're going to go ahead and complete their stop.
The 12 car down here, they had a miscommunication, and they were trying to decide whether they're going to go on and change all 4 tires or not, and he drove off with a wheel loose.
And now they have a violation. Now they put the car back in the box. Now he's okay.
Yeah, his left front went on down pit road.
Yep, he
without him
outside the box. First, let's show you what happened to Ryan Newman in the 12.
The Jackman he's totally confused. They obviously didn't know it was a 4-tire change. Somebody didn't.
And there goes that left front.
Well, I think they knew it was a 4-tire change, Darrell, but I think they panicked when they saw that caution flag.
Oh, you know,
like Blaney was
trying to get on pit road.